voice of the Valley, AM 1450 KBMW. Turner Bluff is here with your Snap Spotlight for the week. We do this at the early part of the 4 o'clock hour every Friday, and I'm joined by a very special guest, Casey Materi, a member of the Wahpeton coaching staff and a teacher over at the Wahpeton schools as well. How's it going today, Case?
It's going good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, good to hear it, Matt. Full context, everybody. He's going to be a little biased to this. Casey and I have been friends since preschool. He's the best man at my wedding. So I'm going to throw him some softball questions so I don't make him sound silly. And second year running the C-Squad team for the boys basketball squad. How's it going so far?
It's going good. We're sitting at fourth in our C-Squad standings.
Oh, nice.
We got a good matchup tonight against Fargo North that we have a chance to beat and move up in those standings because they are ahead of us, which is good. Well, it'll be good to go out there and compete against them. I'm
sure you got the Saturday game circled on the calendar as well, taking on your old Breckenridge Cowboys.
Yeah, unfortunately, my C-Squad team doesn't get to play
because
we have a freshman team as well. So our freshmen will play, but I'll help coach with Joe Caveney and the JV team.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. And it's got to be fun to be able to run your own squad with the C-Squad team, but I'm sure it's also rewarding helping out on Coach Jeff Ralph's staff. What do you think you would say you enjoy more? The C-Squad where it's kind of you're running the show, or helping out during the varsity games?
Well, I like, getting to do my own kind of, my practice plans, my game strategies. I get to do that on my own with my C-Squad team. But I like, learning from Coach Ralph how to scout other teams, how to prepare for the other teams, because, at the varsity level, JV level, and the C-Squad level, they do similar things. And I want to teach my guys, when they get to that level next year, they know what they're doing. So it's good to, bring some of what Coach Ralph is doing in his practice to my practice, but doing my own thing at the same time. And Coach Ralph has allowed me to have that freedom too, which is awesome.
That was actually my next question. How do you find that balance of here's stuff that I know that I'm going to teach you, here's what I like to do, but also it's Coach Ralph's, it's his show. You got to make sure that they're going to be doing things that he wants them doing.
Yep, and he's really good with feedback. Coach Caveney and myself, we bounce ideas off of him, and he's open to, try what we are offering. But, like at the end of the day, Coach Ralph, he's been doing this for a long, long time.
Yep.
So if he has an opinion, our ears are open, and, we're learning from him as well.
And you coached in Breckenridge with some junior high teams before this. What do you think is the biggest thing that you've improved on as a coach from your first year all the way to now?
I think the clarity to my players, what we want to accomplish, and in practice, and then turning that over to the games. But coaching junior high in Breck, and now or the high school level, the games comes at you a lot faster. And you kind of you have to prepare them in practice, pretty well in the EDC as well, because you're getting pressured full court nonstop, 36 minutes. So just the game speed, the clarity to the players that they know what they need to accomplish.
Yeah, and you've kind of started out your coaching career as mostly doing basketball, but spent a little time helping out with the football team this year. What was that experience like, and what did Coach Gilbertson have you working on?
So I was doing eighth grade football. Coach Brandt and I, we kind of mixed. We both worked on the offense. We both worked on the defense. And for me, it was my first time coaching football, since I've played 10 years ago. So it was a different pace for me. There's a lot that you need to cover in football, and I realized that, and you got to put in the time to prepare. Especially at an eighth grade level, because we got to teach the fundamentals of the game, and the strategy of the game. So.
Thanks for reminding me it's been 12 years since we played football. No, dude, we're old.
Yeah.
What happened? And do you ever?
Goes quick.
Yeah. Do you ever get to hop in and play with the guys like JJ used to do when he was our freshman coach?
I do. So this year especially, I only have 8 guys on my roster. So I had 9, but then so I'd be the 10th. If somebody's sick, then I'm the 8th, and we're playing 4-on-4. We're playing 5-on-5. But it's catching up to me. This week I had to running with the chiropractor and not moving too quickly this week.
Yeah,
so I had to take a step back.
If you give them the business, they're more likely to listen to you then, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I tell them, I go, if I'm doing this to you, there's no reason that those Davies kids aren't going to do it to you on Friday or whichever, because they're a lot taller and more athletic than I am.
Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah.
You didn't originally pursue a career in education. Your first big boy job was working at OSPTI and doing some training. What made you decide to switch over and become a phy ed teacher?
So I wanted to get back into coaching. Working with athletes, I loved it. You know, I still do it now. It's one of my what I wanted to do with my career at OSPTI was work with athletes and help them become better. But I wanted to kind of get on the other side of it and coach. And my passion is basketball, and I was able to go into teaching while still working over at OSPTI, and then kind of transfer into teaching, and that was a big part of it, was coaching.
Yeah, I'm sure the coaching staff likes to use you as an asset for that, as all the training, because you were already training their kids, so they definitely know your stuff. So they probably give you a few more responsibilities in that regard.
Yep, I had to come up with the weight training program for the basketball team this year. So
gotcha.
Because unfortunately, we used to have a trainer, but now he moved on, and we're hiring for a new one. But nobody was in there, so we had to make the program for the boys.
Gotcha. I think you should just add a second job to your title.
Yeah.
See if they'll let you do both, double the pay. I don't think that doesn't sound like a bad deal to me. And does anyone that you have anyone besides me refer to you as a traitor for going over to Wahpeton for Breckenridge?
Yes, my old athletes that I did train over in Breckenridge at OSPTI. Every time I see them, they'll traitor, wearing Wahpeton stuff, and being at with the restaurant over in Breck. After some Wahpeton games, I go over there with my Wahpeton clothing on and just get some, side eye and some smear looks.
Yeah, it's got to be unnerving for some people, but you've really acclimated to the community really well, it seems like.
Yeah, I love where I'm at. My position teaching over at the Wahpeton Middle School, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are good. I like the coaching, being able to, have the freedom of coaching. It's very nice, and I love the position I'm in.
Who would you say a coach that you had or that we had that was the biggest influence on how you coach these athletes?
I've played with Arlie Ohm, and I played with JJ, like you mentioned before, and Haugo, and I've taken things from all three of them into my own team with the C squad. I've using some similar motions that we used to do in basketball, our defensive philosophies and stuff like that. I've taken from all three of those coaches. The fundamentals that we got from Sue Smith too, that was huge. Just learning how to shoot, teaching these boys how to shoot, and then football wise, it's been a while, but I remember some of the practices that we had and some of the drills that we had to do. I've brought that also from Coach Fredrickson and all those boys over there.
Awesome. And last question I got, what advice would you give one of your students if they wanted to pursue a coaching career?
I would tell them that it's a great idea, and to help the next generation of athletes is kind of unique because the game is always changing. So you need young minds, that know that the game is changing. It's going to be a 3-point or a shooting game, or if it's going to be into the paint kind of game, which it's changed from since we've played. So I would encourage them to do that because the more the merrier, and it's a great profession.
Well, I'm happy to hear you're having so much fun doing it, man. And before we wrap up the Snap Spotlight, a quick Snap schedule reminder for all the upcoming games we got coming your way in the next 7 days. Starting off with today, BW Wrestling in action at a tournament in Lisbon. BW Gymnastics also hits the road for a meet in Mandan at 5:30 p.m. BW Blade Girls host Long Prairie Great Eagle at 7 p.m. Wahpeton Boys Basketball hosts Fargo North at 7:15 p.m. Wahpeton Girls Basketball at Fargo North at 7:15 p.m. BW Wrestling continues their tournament tomorrow, and then the big border battle games, Breckenridge Girls Basketball versus Wahpeton at 5 p.m. Breckenridge Boys take on the Wahpeton Boys at 6:30 p.m. Monday has NDSCS men and women in action, taking on Bismarck State College with the women at 5:30 and the men at 7:30. Tuesday, we'll have Breckenridge boys basketball a Breckenridge and Hawley doubleheader. Boys basketball plays at 5:45. Breckenridge girls take on Hawley at 7:30. Both of those at BHS. BW boys hockey is at Waddington Deer Creek at 7 p.m. Wahpeton girls host West Fargo at 7:15 p.m. Wahpeton boys head to West Fargo for a 7:30 p.m. matchup. And then rounding it out with Thursday, BW wrestling has a triangular at Clinton Graceville Beardsley at 4 p.m. NDSCS women host Lake Region State College at 5:30 p.m. with the NDSCS men following at 7:30 p.m. BW boys hockey is at Detroit Lakes at 7 p.m. And then the Breckenridge boys basketball team is at Dilworth Glidden Felden at 7:30 p.m. So that's like your Snap schedule reminder, and thank you all so much for tuning in to the Snap Spotlight this week, brought to you by Snap Fitness, your locally owned gym in Wahpeton. And now for a quick message from our sponsor. Snap Fitness, your locally owned gym in Wahpeton, wants to have you join their workout family. Snap offers personal training, and owner Renata Faub will even write up workout plans for you. If you're an athlete in the Twin Towns, Snap Fitness will help you make sure you're prepared for the upcoming sports season. To all the retired athletes over 65, Snap Fitness participates in the Silver Sneakers Insurance Program, and most major insurances reimburse for memberships to Snap. Stop by Snap Fitness today and ask about their membership packages. They're located at 102 7th Street South in Wahpeton.